Hey there, welcome to Stock Market Stallions. Today we're going to look at CMPS Compass Pathways as our high IV options premium pick of the week. We're going to go over who they are and why their options premiums are so high. But before we get into all that, I just want to take a quick moment and thank you for tuning in today and remind you that we are not financial advisors and this video is simply sharing our studies and strategies and is for entertainment purposes only. If you haven't already, we want to invite you to click the subscribe button and that little notification bell right next to it so that you'll be notified every time we upload new information here on this channel. So with that said, let's get started. All right, we're going to be talking about a company called CMPS Compass Pathways. And October 19th, 2021, they released information saying that it has been granted new U.S. patents for crystalline psilocybin. And then October the 20th, they had a news release. And we're going to be talking about that right now. So first off, let's talk about who the company actually is. Then we're going to be talking about their current findings. Compass Pathways is a mental health care company dedicated to accelerating patients' access to evidence-based innovation in mental health. Their focus is on improving the lives of those who are suffering with mental health challenges and who are not helped by current treatments. They are pioneering the development of a new model of psilocybin therapy in which their proprietary formula of synthetic psilocybin, COMP360, is administered in conjunction with psychological support, a breakthrough therapy by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for treatment-resistant depression. And they're currently conducting a clinical trial of psilocybin therapy for TRD in 22 sites across Europe and North America. All right, so let's talk about their current findings. Investigator-initiated study shows remission in major depression symptoms for 50% of participants. Compass Pathways is a mental health care company dedicated to accelerating patient access to evidence-based innovation in mental health. They recently welcomed a top-line data shared from an open-label study of psilocybin therapy for depression in cancer patients. Within 1 week of a single administration of the COMP360 psilocybin therapy, 50% of participants achieved remission in depression symptoms, which was sustained for the 8-week follow-up period. This investigator-initiated feasibility study was conducted by Maryland Oncology Hematology at the Aquilino Cancer Center in Rockville, Maryland. It was an open-label study involving 30 patients with cancer diagnosis and major depressive disorder, all of whom completed the study. Half of the participants have previously been treated for their current episode of depression with antidepressants and were all receiving active treatments for cancer. 19 participants have had no previous experience with psychedelic substances. Patients were given a 25 milligram dose of COMP360 psilocybin in conjunction with psychological support from specially trained therapists following the COMP360 psilocybin therapy protocol. Unlike earlier psilocybin therapy trials for depression and cancer, this study was not restricted to patients with late-stage cancer. The Maryland team also pioneered simultaneous group administration in the Cancer Care Center with 2 to 4 patients being given psilocybin at the same time, with one-on-one therapist support. This tested the value of group support for cancer patients as well as the potential for increased scalability in providing psilocybin therapy in real-world settings. COMP360 psilocybin therapy was found to be generally well tolerated with no treatment-related serious adverse events. Adverse effects seen on the day of dosing were as expected from experience in healthy volunteer groups and included headache, changes in sensory perception, and mood alteration. Patients were assessed using the Montgomery-Åsberg Depression Rating Scale, a clinician-administered symptom questionnaire. A sustained response rate was seen by 24 patients. 15 patients showed remission of depression symptoms 1 week after a single dose of psilocybin, which was sustained up to 8 weeks. The 30 patients in the study began with the average MADRS score of 25.9, representing moderate depression. After psilocybin therapy, the average score dropped by 19 points. The study investigators noted that this was an open-label study in which neither patients nor raters were blinded. So there's a significant risk that the results incorporate a large expectancy bias. Dr. Manish Agrawal, medical oncologist, co-director of clinical research at the Aquilo Cancer Center, said, "A cancer diagnosis can change the course of a patient's life. For complete cancer care, we need to focus on whole person healing and include the mental well-being of our patients. This is not wildly addressed today, but it's time to start doing something about it. These study results have shown that psilocybin therapy can be helpful with MDD and cancer, and we look forward to doing further analysis and following up with additional studies. While it's premature to draw any definitive conclusions from this study, simultaneous administration appears to be well tolerated and feasible, and the results are promising and worthy of further research." Professor Guy Goodwin, Chief Medical Officer, Compass Pathways, said these preliminary findings suggest COMP360 psilocybin therapy was well tolerated by cancer patients with major depressive disorder. It's promising to see that this may be a feasible, fast-acting therapy for depressed patients with a significant physical comorbidity. This would certainly be welcome in conditions where depression is difficult to treat in a timely way. Professor Goodwin added, "This open-label MDD study is very different from the ransomed, controlled, double-blinded phase LLB study that Compass had conducted for patients with treatment-resistant depression. Nevertheless, it has given a positive signal of the potential for COMP360 psilocybin therapy, and we're delighted to see that a number of patients showed signs of improvement. We're now considering how we take this forward with further studies as we continue to develop a broad portfolio of therapies in areas of significant unmet needs in mental health care." Okay, so you guys can see here that Compass Pathways is currently at $38.53, up 10% on Friday, 19% last week, but just 1.69% for the entire year. So the company IOP'd September 18th, 2020. We don't have much of a history to look back on. All right, so you can see that it has a 52-week high of 61.69 with a low of 28.58. The company has a market cap of $1.62 billion, and they're expected to report earnings on November the 10th, 9 days before these options actually expire. The at-the-money $35 put for November 19th has an implied volatility of 191%, a high premium of $690, and a low of $580. So on the high end, some get 20% return on investment potential. I like it down here where it's a little bit safer below the 52-week low of 28. The $25 put had a high premium of $290 and a low of $250. So at least a 10% return on investment potential. The implied volatility is at 228% with a better volume at 198. Even down at the $20 put still has a decent premium. So it seems like there's an expectation for more news releases on trials and earnings coming up in 3 weeks. But personally, I see no reason that the price would drop nearly 50%. In our opinion, they've mostly only had good news. All right, you guys, thanks for watching today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And while you're down there, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you here next time.